like so. Now we're going to run it through the press both ways so that the camera doesn't have to be moved all the time. But basically we're just going to, we would ordinarily just do it once, but for this purpose let's do it the two ways. Keeping the yellow and the blue apart is very important, although as you continue to use the plates they begin to pick up colour from each other, so from time to time you'll have to stop and clean your plates completely and start over again. Now this is the yellow plate, and when it comes through you will not be able to see very much. The yellow and the design on the plate really don't show up too well. I'll show you, but I don't think you'll be able to see very much. And this is how it looks with the yellow. You can see some light areas, but essentially it's very difficult to tell. Now we go to the red or the magenta plate. Incidentally, this has an R at the top. Not so as I'll remember that it's red, but so as I don't put it down upside down, the wrong way around. Have to be careful with that word. Now, ordinarily, if a person was going to do a three plate, they'd have to be able to put this plate down in exactly the right place, and then after they put it down the right place, they'd then have to somehow or other manage to get this on top of it in exactly the right place. It's a very difficult thing to do. So I don't do that. I don't do that. What I do is I print it with the ink side face down. Artists and students have said, oh, you can't do that. Well, actually you can do it. And in fact I've been doing it right along, and it's very much easier. Of course, there are a number of different ways of making a colour print. This isn't the only way. You can make a colour print simply by watercolouring it. In fact, mezzotints are very easily watercoloured and very nice when they're watercoloured. And many times that's what they used to do in the 1800s. Of course, the purists, they didn't believe it was a good idea because the black and white was the essence of a mezzotint. But in actuality, the coloured ones look very nice, and also because when the plates got rather worn, hand colouring them made them look rather better. It sort of rejuvenated them. And the hand colouring of mezzotints, by the way, was something that Turner did for small change when he was a young man. He'd hand colour other people's mezzotints to make some cash. Now, here we have put the red on top of the yellow. Consequently, in places where the red is, we're going to see orange. And here it is with the most of the red is here because there isn't much yellow there. But the rest of it does show. You can see the yellow through and the red on top. So now we'll do the blue. I have to mention that, here it is with the B on the top. I have to mention that these plates have been used repeatedly for demonstrations for students and others to show how to do it. And they are worn, so I don't want you to anticipate a beautiful print. It doesn't work as well as it did when the plates were young. So now we set it down. I usually put the left hand bottom corner down first, and then I eyeball it. If it's a little bit off, I can adjust it with my fingernail. And there will, of course, be a slight margin of the other colour. What's nice about this method is it's clean. I mean, if you use a template, like a piece of wood or something cut out, that you're going to slot the plates in one at a time, it very soon gets rather dirty and you have to stop and clean it all the time. So now, down and dirty. And this is ink face down. I'll just run it through and then reverse it again. And here we go. Some people have printing presses that are mechanized. You just push a button and it goes zzz through. The problem with that was, once I saw a girl who got her hair caught in it. And it was very difficult to stop the machine. And here's a sort of a finished print. Now, let me just assemble these for a moment. We have printed a yellow, then we printed a red, and then we printed this blue. Now, the thing here is, where's my pencil? Here it is. I'd like to just point out, if you want the end of the twig to be an orangey colour, you have to burnish it out of the blue. You can't leave it there, you see. You've got to burnish that out. Otherwise, it will not print yellow. And likewise, you see these highlights at the tops here? Those highlights are produced because I burnished out the tops of the plate so that it wouldn't print as blue. Lighter areas, for instance, in the green leaves here, are due to either larger amounts of yellow being rocked into there, or burnishing out the blue so the yellow begins to show through. I'm surprised at this particular print because there's so much red in it. Ordinarily you don't get quite as much red. In fact, just to be sure that I would get a good print from these old plates, yesterday I tried one just to see how it would come out. And also, and as you can see, there is a marked difference between the two. A marked difference because in this instance here you're getting a lot more yellow and blue showing green, and here you're not, you're getting mostly orange. Now once again, these prints have been editioned, not auditioned, so we have to destroy them. It's quiet out here, except for my music. And I can look around at all these different things I do, and it's very satisfying and very challenging. One must try to do the very best one can, not be satisfied too readily.